Hi, I'm Julie White. I'm sitting in my dressing room at the Schubert Theater on Schubert Alley, where the ghosts of a chorus line are dancing through the hallways and many other fabulous shows that have played here. Behind me is a painting I brought from home. Nope, don't understand how to point at things on a screen. But Susie is not in the theater. She appears to maybe be in an interrogation room somewhere in the Pentagon.
And I'm blinking to send you a message. Hi, TDF fans. I'm Suzy Nakamura, and I'm talking to you from my sort of echoey, bare-walled apartment.
Terrible.
I mean, it really could be anywhere. And
Yeah.
that's I can't. This. I live in Los Angeles, so I'm sort of in a rental, and it's not really decorated. So it's really
No, you really, or you're showing us the very least decorated part of it. That's for sure.
It all looks like this. Put your mind at ease. It all looks like this blank wall.
Great. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'll ask you that. Susie and I starred together. Although starred is a pretty strong word. In a sitcom called Go On, that was a multicam
No,
on
single cam.
NBC starring Matthew Perry, late of a little program called Friends. But it was about a grief support group that met once a week, led by Laura Benanti, really badly. Like she wasn't particularly good counselor, and you felt like she maybe didn't really have a degree in it, but she was very sweet.
Yes,
And
we still
Susie
love
had been left. You had been left. I was thinking about this. Your thing, your grief thing, was that you were left at the altar, or did we ever even find out what your grief was?
Yeah, my fiance left me at the altar.
Right. And Sarah Baker's cat had died.
Yes.
And me, I played a very high-powered uh, lawyer, and my wife had died real suddenly, like dropped dead of a heart attack. So I felt like my grief was more better than yours, and was very grouchy with everyone.
Yeah.
That seems to be my métier. I play grouchy.
That's how I met you and Laura Benanti and Sarah Baker.
And we have stayed very good pals
Yeah.
through all these years. It's like one of our saddest, like, damn, that our show we didn't get to do that show for 5 or 6 years, because we could have hated each other by now.
Right. And we could have recalled that time as when we still got along.
So the question is, you co-starred on the sitcom Go On a decade ago, and your characters in Potus, the show we're doing now, are fierce frenemies. How has your offstage friendship fueled your onstage relationship? There was a time in rehearsal that I kept calling Jean Susie. I have a line where I say, he's booked. So the point is he's booked, Jean. He's effing booked. And I would just constantly say, the point is he's booked, Susie.
And I was like, Julie, you cannot do that in the show. Acting 101 is call me by my character name. It was a real,
bad.
It was a real acting.
But it's been really easy. I knew, from the moment I heard Susie was thinking about doing it, I was like, oh my God, this would be so much fun.
And I already knew you were part of the cast. So as soon as I read it and that, we had scenes together, I knew I wanted to work with you again. And, and I love that our characters are so close because, friends have a shorthand and they have a way of communicating that I think we fell into really easily.
Yeah, it's been easy. And we both have the same sense of humor, and we've been laughing about the same stuff for 10 years now. So it was really fast. Like we were enjoying one another way more than anyone else was enjoying our. Just right from the get-go, we were like, we're hilarious.
But also, I think, I think we can both consider ourselves ensemble actors. And so we feed each other and we change based on the other person. And if we're both supporting each other, it elevates the lines, it elevates the characters, and it elevates the whole production. And if everyone's doing that in an ensemble, everyone gets elevated.
Yeah, it does definitely have a really great improvisational feel, this show. Like we're just which is what I love. And also kind of what we could do on Go On, because it was a single camera show and we were filming each thing. So every take had its own differences and energies, and you'd throw out different stuff. I mean, we don't change the words, but I remember there was one night where I started it out, like I decided just right as the lights popped up, I was like, I'm gonna bump this, like, let's make it to where it's so horrible that she thinks it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with a really different energy, and you were just like, okay, dun, 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 here we go. And she's like riding that Surrey, just okay, we're going a different way.
Well, that comes from knowing you, but also trust, in the process. And Susan Stroman allows us to do that, which is why I love working with her.
Yeah, very much so. She's so not controlling, which is, such a lovely hallmark of having a lady director.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Potus was the last.
When you open the door, when you close the door in here, it starts smelling like, I imagine it smells inside a casket.
With fruit.
So flowery, yes.
Flowery, fruity.
Flowery, and that edible fruit that Jesse Tyler Ferguson sent me.
Here's the next question. Ready?
Yeah.
Potus was the last production announced for Broadway's return season. How did you get involved in the show?
I just read about it in Backstage magazine and went to the audition.
Put a number on your chest.
I had done a reading of this play a couple of years ago, and it was supposed to be in production like in 20 2020.
Blend
like it was supposed to be in production of fall of 2020. Like we were supposed to start rehearsal in August of 2020. Ooh. And at that point I thought Laura Benanti was going to be in it. But then came this crazy, this illness that kind of everybody got, called the COVID-19.
The COVID-19.
And so it went away. And I felt like they had originally intended and thought that the play kind of should be timed to be around the big election. So I was like, oh God, what a bummer. That play is so funny. And that young woman was all primed up and teed up to have her Broadway debut before she was even 30 years old. And damn, Coco is mean. But then sure enough, I was in Los Angeles, as you know, because I think we had brunch. Oh no, we sat in Sarah's front yard.
Sarah Baker from Television One.
Yeah. And I had just finished up doing a show for CBS, which is on Thursday nights at 9:30, called How We Roll. I finished that, and then there was like, guess what? Potus is back. Do you want to do it? So there was a part of me that was like, I don't want to do it. I want to go home. I want to go visit my new grandbaby. But then I read it again, and I was like, oh, brother, come on. When do you get a chance to do this? You gotta do it. So I said, yes, before I knew who was going to play the role of Jean. And then they offered it to Suzy Nakamura, and my head exploded. Who I didn't think was going to be able to do it, because I thought you were doing that HBO, that good show with Hugh Laurie. I thought you were in London, England town again.
I had wrapped. I just heard my Chicago accent. I wrapped it in December.
Oh.
He came back from London, and I was just kind of farting around in my house. And then Julie White texts me 7:30 at night. Hey, Susie, come do Broadway with me.
She's told other people that I said it like, and I sound like Hopalong Cassidy in her accent. Her version of my Texas accent is like, "Hi, Susie, come to Broadway with me."
Broadway with me.
It's like, haw.
That depends on my audience.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
And it was just I hadn't read the script yet, but the offer came in at night, and so you texted me right about the same time.
No way.
Yeah, your ear was to the ground, Julie White.
I know. Oh, okay. So this is mine. The cast features so many hilarious women. Well, that's nice of you to notice. Was there any improvisation during rehearsals, and did any of it end up staying in the script?
I mean, I don't think we actually improvised. There's an improvisational feel to the dialogue already, but I mean, I think in theater we're more focused on being word perfect. But I know there are some reactions that made it into the script.
Yeah, and there's sort of a general hubbub on stage sometimes that is not actually scripted. It's just, but
Yeah,
it has sort of become part of the thing. And Harriet is going so fast that there are times that I, in rehearsal, added, like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, when I say things multiple times, or I think the okay thing, when I'm trying to figure out a narrative as to why he would be in that woman's bathroom.
Yes.
Haven't gone back and looked in a script for a while. Not sure how much of that is in the original script.
Yeah, it's like the little details and stuff that add color and depth to what our characters were eventually added into the script. But I mean, I don't know if that's considered improvisation. I consider that
sort of like, no, we're certainly not making stuff up on the night. No,
it's written so well that we're basically we're doing the script.
Yeah. That's yours, Susie.
The play is fabulously profane and even has a subtitle, which is it's Potus, and the subtitle is "Or behind every great dumbass are 7 women trying to keep him alive," which I think is the longest title in Broadway history. Is that, you think that's
cool?
I think it is. Don't Google it. Just take my word for it.
Okay.
Who in the cast has the biggest potty mouth? Ooh, that's I think it's got to be Julie White. I think it's
when I did that show's Designated Survivor, there was a review that said they moved it to Netflix. So mainly what that meant was you could have, language. They said, so what do you do if you can do that? Hire the queen of cursing, Julie White, the queen of cursing. I'm like, really? I'm a nice Baptist girl.
You're wearing royalty. You're cursing royalty.
Oh, yeah.
Bow down to the queen of cursing.
Yeah. Potus is a woman-centric project. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. The playwright, director, cast, and most of the designers are all female. How important is that to you? How important is that to us? It was kind of important to me in what put it over the top as to why I would go and do a really difficult thing. It was like the opportunity to do a production with all the distaff side, as they used to call us. I wanted to see what it would be like. I've had some wonderful women directors in the past, Lee Silverman, but not many. And I've done a one-woman show called Bad Dates that just had women in it, but I was the only one. And I did a play called Quilters in the 80s with all women at Actors Theater of Louisville, and I just loved it. And I had a new baby, so it was like, wow. But in the intervening time, never had gotten to have that experience again, and I really wanted it, and it's really awesome.
It's awesome. And on a real practical level, there is a shorthand that women have. And I'm all about efficiency. And I like when 7 emails can just be 2.
Yeah.
And when I signed on, I just knew that, Susan Stroman was directing. It was written by Selena, and the cast was 7 women. And then, by the time I got to New York, I found out that the designers were women, stage managers, like so many. That first day in rehearsal where we met everyone, and it was
Wasn't that amazing?
It was sea of women. I was pleasantly not just surprised, but relieved, because I knew what was ahead of me was just going to be great communication, helping, support, and efficiency. There's an automatic response that women have where it's like, oh, do you need something? Let me help you. I can help you. And there's an understanding, and there's a shorthand that is rare, because we rarely work with so many women.
Yeah, it was really great. And the other thing I'll say is opening night, the gift giving was so epic. It's like clearly, as women, about week 2, we all started planning this gift. I've never had a dressing room so full of stuff, ever. And it was crazy business. It was like Christmas. I had to start making a list so that I could correctly do thank you notes.
It's thoughtful.
Yes.
Thoughtful gift. No more like boxy hoodies that the internet.
Or those that on TV shows, the men always want to give you some sort of a man bag to put your very heavy computer in. No.
Stuff that we actually want and can use.
Yes, like a cup that spells out the word.
Unt.
What is it like being directed by 5-time Tony winner Susan Stroman? It's like having butterflies land on your face and kiss you with their wings.
Like Snow, you've seen that scene in Snow White where all the animals gather around her and birds like land in her hair. It's like that.
It's like that. Come here, Ellie. Come here.
Come here. Come sit up with and see your Auntie Susie. Hi, baby.
Hi. It's like having a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel on your lap. That's how good it is. She just made a sigh, like a heavy sigh. Like she
really gave me a side eye.
Jesus, just give me a break, Julie.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, there's Susie.
Hi, baby.
Oh my God! If you can't see, I was holding up my Cavalier King Charles Spaniel,
and I just made an idiot out of myself, waving to a camera. I waved.
That's okay.
Waving.
We love being directed by Susan. We've sort of already addressed this question. It's like, I mean, she started a dancer and then a choreographer, and then of course directed so many things and has directed many musicals. And there is something about this show that it's been so great to have her eye and ear for rhythm and
music,
the musicality of a thing, and how your eye needs to go to the right part of the stage, focus.
Yep.
What I love though is that she is so let me find my way into this character and trusted me, you know, and not imposed a vision on me, like controlling my interpretation of Harriet. She's just mainly sculpting the musical number around it and how I fit into it. And it just feels so freaking collaborative, which is amazing.
It does. I really felt like, I don't know how to describe it, except that we had this freedom. Like I was actually trying different things, in the rehearsal room, and different takes and she never said, she could tell I'm experimenting.
Yeah.
she could tell.
Like there's not a right way or a wrong way. Right. There's just keep looking for the way that's best.
Yeah.
And or the way that's the best at that moment or something.
Yeah. I mean, in improv, we literally call it failing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And which is you have to find out what doesn't work or what you don't like. And
yeah,
Susan allowed us to do was to fail, right? We have to working shit out and know, okay, well, that didn't work and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was a better word for it, but.
Yeah, better than just fail. It's the truth. We had a lot of endings. We've been tweaking with our ending, like how to bring her home throughout. And there's a lot of moving parts to it.
And there's no way to figure out what that is unless you do it and see, okay, it didn't work.
Yeah. Oh, somebody said the greatest thing to me. My friend Ilana Levine, who I think is going to ask us all to do her podcast. She does a podcast called Little Known Facts. It's all about people in the theater. But she said it was so great to feel like you were seeing women behind the scenes without a man. Like, like being let in on these, like the Harriet and Jean scenes, especially like these two really super smart working women without any performative measure for a man. The only time we're on stage with a man is when we just see the bottom part of Potus's body. Mm-hmm. And actually it changes us a little bit the way we.
Oh yeah. Just by the presence of half of him.
Just that half of him.
That's a Williams story. Go. I just love that, when I said I'm going to try Shake Shack, she said, you have to get a shake.
Yeah, I think that's what I like the most is that you say she's fucking Miss America. And she looks like she's like carved out of butter or something. She's so beautiful and delicious looking, but she is so the most efficient PTA mom in the carpool. So anything you say, because one time, for instance, I said, because I live kind of up near her, I was like, I wish that my fireplace was just one of those gas log fireplaces where you just turn it on. And the next thing I know, she's whipped out her phone and she's like, this is the guy you call. This is his company. He'll come and do it for you. He did mine too. Girl, you should have it. Click. Send. Ding, 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 ding. She's so amazing.
Yeah, whatever you say in front of Vanessa, she will text you a link.
She didn't. I showed her what I was going to wear to opening, and she was like, no. I would wear that to a weekend barbecue. And Pamela Rowland sends over a bunch of real sparkly dresses.
Mm-hmm. That dress was beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanessa.
Gorgeous.
Oh, my best. What is it? Hers is all about her incredible capability and generosity.
And her Rolodex.
Yeah.
Young people don't know what a Rolodex is.
It's like the thing, it's like your contact list in your phone, but it was physical and it actually did roll.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll come back.
I hope so. It's very retro.
What's the best deal you ever got at the TKTS booth? Oh, honey, I remember when it first started and it was like, well, I guess it was here when I first came to New York and I got my ticket to Evita to see Patti LuPone. And she was divine. And I think it was when I did Doll's House, Patti sent me flowers because she was doing that show with Christine Ebersole where they played the cosmetic magnates, I can't remember what it was called, but it was fantastic and they were great in it. But she sent me flowers and it was like, welcome to the street or something like that. And I was like, I can't believe that Patti LuPone, the Patti LuPone is my friend. And I got to see Evita at half price.
That's a deal. I came to New York maybe like, it was like 20 years ago with no tickets. And then
Yeah.
went to TKTS and was able to buy tickets. You're in town. I remember I saw like 4 shows in a weekend.
It's especially great if you're a single and you go last minute. It's like you should go check there before you do the box office because they'll release those really good, like some house seats. And if you're a single, or you never know how great you'll
Yeah,
end
you
up
could
with
go
them.
an entire weekend with matinees and
Yeah. And
so-
I would end up, I'd go in there and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm like 7th row center because I was that one, that
single so easy. Yeah, that's how I saw Lehman Trilogy in London because it was like just one single ticket.
yeah, I've seen a few things there. Oh, let's see, last question.
That
If you were
question, if
president,
you were president for a day, what would be on your agenda?
wow. This is a very hard time to ask that question.
It is because of
Many things are happening. I feel like my agenda would be very full, and I would probably do some things that were questionable. But
sure. We're
I,
filled. We're women are, I think, filled with anger.
yeah,
So my answer is probably going to be an angry one. For every state in the United States that abortion was illegal, I would force all the men to get vasectomies.
there you go. That's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that I would put whatever is in place to A, get rid of the Electoral College, B, expand the Supreme Court and appoint 3 liberal justices immediately. 3, I would. I've got all these sneaky people at my, over there at the Pentagon, at Langley. I've got all those sneaky people.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go over there to 48th Street and get Daniel Craig out of his play and send him over to Russia to double tap Vladimir Putin. I'd get rid of that guy too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like DC could do it for us. And I mean, do those things that should have been done anyway, because if the crazy Electoral College hadn't gotten in the way, I mean, Hillary was elected by almost 5 million votes. She won the popular vote, and this would not be happening.
Correct.
RBG did not resign because she felt for sure that Hillary was going to win, and it was going to be this historic thing where a woman appointed. Yeah, she wanted to retire to Hillary. I mean, I don't know, but RBG said, Susie, that Roe v. Wade, because they did a lot of machinating and made it about privacy, that it was always going to be, it always had like a chink in the armor. So we're going to have to go back in if they do this, that it looks like they're going to do. We just have to go back in and make some kind of a gold standard case to make this a constitutional right.
Yeah.
I mean,
a human right.
A human right. Healthcare. It's fucking healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you. Come see Potus.
Come see Potus. Come get a ticket and go. Get it from TDF. Also sell off-Broadway shows and every other darn thing. So go to the theater in New York. There's no excuse not to.
Yes. Support live theater.
Yeah. Thanks.